Hi, it's Nancy welcoming you to Garden Scroll. It is June the 18th, 3 days before the first day of summer on the 21st. And we're going to go around and see what's happening in the garden. Yesterday, the garden felt like you opened the oven door and took out some cornbread or something that had been cooking on 375 degrees. But today is gorgeous. We got a little rain, we got cool weather, not the kind that gives you a little chill or that you reach for your sweater, but just the kind that makes you feel refreshed and like, how can this be close to summer? This is the kind of weather we pray for when we have weather like we had yesterday in the garden. And some of my periwinkles did not make it. I pulled them out of here because they were totally dead. There's one little lovely pink one back there, but I did get a few more today. I'm going to try this again, but I'm pretty much done with trying things again. I'm just going to try to enjoy what I have and let it grow and hopefully see it thrive. That's what I like to do the best. Look at this bougainvillea is beginning to bloom. And it's beginning to mist, so I might have to make a run for it. A run like a 74-year-old makes. Look at this one, this daylily. It's the darkest one that I have in my garden, I believe, and it's so pretty. And look how bright the pink or red salvia is. I love this little plant, and it's doing so well. And this is the small one. If we go on down a little bit to the end of this little row or this little bed, you'll see that this one is the bigger of the two. It's spread all the way out there and kind of split down the middle and laid over, kind of like it's two plants instead of one now. But it looks so good. And this little crepe myrtle decided to bloom for me. Some of my others have not yet bloomed, but they probably will before very long. And this was a hibiscus, but I think was is the operative word here. But I still didn't want to take it out just in case it should come up from the root. And I thought, well, I'm not getting any seedlings to come up either, but I am. You can see those tiny little ones in there, and they could fill up this pot pretty much. And my black and blue salvia is blooming. And I'm very glad that I did go ahead and replace this little antenna that died in this pot. There's actually two different lantanas in here, and both of them are very pretty, and I think they're going to look great together, and they already do for that matter. And I think I showed you that I had trimmed off all the bloom on my nepeta or catnip, and you can tell it's already beginning to bloom again. And some of I think the last time I showed you my feather celosia was blooming, but I don't think the little white gomphrena or globe flower was yet blooming, and it is now, and they look so good together. And I'm a little bit amazed that this little pot is filling out still. I was afraid it was just going to sit there until it fizzled out, but it just seems like it's got a little bit more full, and that's wonderful. So also I was going to tell you that my AI agent, whom I just immediately connected with because I loved everything that was said about me. And but they suggested I should tell you how I got rid of the snails. I cannot do that. I do not know how to get rid of the snails. They started out smaller than my little fingernail. Now they are bigger than my thumbnail. So, you know, I don't know what you do. You look for something that says it will kill pill bugs because they're crustaceans, and of course so is the snail, or the slug, which is a snail without a shell. So I mean, but you do have to keep them under control the best you can. I don't know how you get rid of them. I've never gotten rid of them, but I have cut them back enough that they haven't just totally destroyed everything, although they're still destroying something. You can see right here, this is another one of those periwinkles, beautiful little periwinkle. Of course right now it's dead and I need to put something else there. I might try to do that if I can find some more. I found some pretty purple ones today and a couple of pretty pink and light pink and then a dark pink, but I don't know. I don't think that's going to go around to where I need them all. I could maybe just put some seed in. I'm tired of planting. I'm tired even of planting the seed. I just want to start watching them grow up and be beautiful now. That's what sounds like fun to me. Like this little one right here is doing so far. And the snails seem to have basically left it alone. I hope they have. And that's another thing. Sometimes once they get bigger and that little juicy stem becomes thicker, they don't seem to like it quite as much. So if you can wait to get your impatiens, which I never feel like waiting. When I see they're out there, I want to get them, because you don't want to wait until they're no longer available. But if you have a place to keep them until they are thicker and bigger, that might be a one thing that would help you to deter the snails. And I don't know if I showed you how this little euphorbia, look at all the foliage on it now. It was just like little green sticks, and now it's got foliage, and hopefully soon it'll have beautiful little blooms that really look like little tiny white Christmas lights in the garden. And this little sandflower is still trying. It hasn't given up on me. And I'm seeing that I have another crepe myrtle blooming right here. This is my peppermint lace crepe myrtle. Very fond of this little plant, and I do mean little because all my other ones grew right up. And this must be a more dwarf variety because it's never gotten very big. But it's very pretty. And I'm trying to start some grass seed under this tree. We'll see how that'll work for me. And some of the tree lilies are still looking good, but others are already losing their pretty bloom. And of course this one is in that second category. And there are others that haven't really begun yet. You can tell this one's just about ready to pop open in its beautiful bloom. And these little impatiens are filling out good too. There's some of them that are still kind of struggling along, but I think there's enough there for it to look very eye-catching. And my little polymer prince is still not doing real well, and yet look at the hope of this little new leaf growth. And I put a little string around this little angel so that it was flopping down behind it. You couldn't even see it. And I should have used some fishing line. That's a great thing to use. I got some today that's 30 pound weight like I'm going to catch a 30-pound fish, but actually I do use it a lot in the garden. You don't even notice that it's there, and it helps things not to blow away or tumble over and break. Lots of things that can happen. But this little peppermint or firehouse verbena is looking great. And this red salvia looking good too. However, when I showed you this last, it had a beautiful calabachoa there. Yellow, pale, pretty yellow with a pink, some little pink stripes in it. It's just beautiful. I'm seeing this. Look at this bud still. It's still in bud form, but isn't it pretty? And then it'll open up, be prettier still. I miss this. I always want my calabachoa to make it, and they rarely do. I had one over here too, and it was there a little bit yesterday, but I may have went ahead and pulled it up. I know I went ahead and put some purslane moss in there because my calabachoas are not working in this little pot. So I wanted to put something else there. This little fan flower so far is looking great. And this little calabachoa is still alive and well. I don't know how long it will stay that way. And this pretty little fan flower is looking fairly well also. If it just keeps going, it'll be great. My little seedlings are not yet making a great showing, but they're certainly there, and I'm hoping they will fill out and become a great beauty too in the summer. It shouldn't take them too much longer to get going good and fill out and bloom. And I do have a little bit of this little fuchsia left. I moved it where it gets a lot more shade than it was getting. It was getting some, and I thought it might be enough, and that it might need the sun a little bit too, but no, it did not want that much sun anyway. It just about died. But I can see now that it's trying again. And this little pot is looking good. It usually does well for me if I can get it filled out with things that can have a chance to take off and go, and it has been doing that. And my little castor bean are still growing up, so I'm thinking I'm about ready to go ahead and take one of these up and give to my friend Ruby, and hope the other one will stay healthy for me. Instead of, looky there, you can see there's some kind of a rodent messing around with it now. Last year it dug under there after I'd already gave one of them away and practically killed the other one, but we'll see what happens this year. When we can have beautiful weather, I love to be in the garden. I don't even mind working in the garden that much, but those pretty days in the summer are few and far between. And the cool days of fall can seem a long time coming when we're in our gardens all summer long, just trying to keep them alive. And this little pot is doing so well that yesterday when I heard it's going to be cool today, or semi-cool, nice anyway, I decided this pot needs a little bit more color. It's pretty because it's healthy, but it needs something a little brighter. So I put these little plants in there, and there's 3 of them. I don't know if you can see them. But someday I think you will if they do well. And I bought several of the beautiful double petunias, and really this is the best one. This is the one that did the best of all of them. The rest of them just kind of sat there and fizzled out. I hate that, because look how beautiful. They really do look like little fairy tassels, big fairy tassels to a fairy, and so full and beautiful to anyone. Look at this little begoniaette. Looks so pretty there. And my little artillery plant is thickening up and looking good, as well as this pretty sedum. I purchased, Susie and I both want another one of the Henry, because neither of ours made it last year. And she said hers is blooming, which mine is not, but it's alive, and that gives me hope that one day I'll see one of those big, beautiful blooms on this. The lilies, especially the day lilies, they just keep coming and bringing us joy in the heart of summer. And I once had several of the echinacea or coneflowers, and then they all went away. I don't really know what happened, but I'm getting them back in the garden now, and I love that. And some of the tall phlox is blooming right here. And there's the coneflowers that I was going for. And I haven't gotten just a real good stand of zinnias this year. Usually they just come back volunteer, but you always need to just save some seed, because some of the times when they don't come back volunteer, that way you get a chance to plant some seed. And this is my fennel. I think it's beautiful, and I just love the scent. It smells like black licorice when you walk by it and touch the foliage. And my pink Texas star hibiscus has been blooming the last few days, and I'm just now seeing that I have a cosmos bloom. And these little zinnias were wilted down and beginning to crisp up just yesterday, and now they're just looking so good and healthy and refreshed. What a wonderful thing refreshing is. And I'm going to try to keep showing this to you, and one day you're going to gasp at its beauty too. My bags of Ireland, I think I told you, they're beginning to fade away, and I'll be needing to pull those up, and then I may end up checking out Walmart or someplace that's still selling plants and putting something else in these spots where these were. This little plant is doing what I told you I like to see, where they just fill out and just begin to look beautiful. The last time I showed these to you, this little green one was just beginning to fill out, and the little zinnias all around it were just barely up. And I love this little pot, but you know what? It needs a little more color too. To brighten up and bring your eye to it just a little bit more. Look at this bright light star now. I probably should take everything out of this pot except it. Just let it shine, but it's shining anyway. And this little purple heart with pink is really doing great and filling out too. I didn't know if it was even going to live when I first put it in there, and it's looking so good. So actually is this little double petunia. I hope it keeps going for me. That's what I love, when they just fill out and go like this. And I've certainly got others to show you when they don't do that, how pathetic they look. But not this one. It's looking great. I'm still not sure this is purple. It looks still like a bright fuchsia pink to me. But I still love it, but I did want the purple one because I have two of the pink already. But I love them all. It's true, they're beautiful. Look at the little seeds coming up in this one. I was thinking I put zinnias in here, but this looks way more like I put alyssum in there. But either way, I think it's going to be beautiful. And I did take the bells of Ireland out of my seed, what I call my seed box. I like to plant seeds in this because that way I can keep an eye on them, keep them watered. If I just plant them hither and yon in the garden, I don't remember where I planted them. They don't get extra attention that they need. And so I'm thinking these were kind of getting shaded out. They weren't getting the sun they needed, but they're still thick on this end, so you get down there. But in this one, I need to put some better soil in it. I actually had filled most of it up with sand, and when my husband and his brother worked on it, I think I just left it like that and didn't fill it up with some better soil. So I'll need to do that maybe next year. And I'm thinking about just putting the bells of Ireland in one end of it and the petunias in the other, although this is working too, because when I pull these bells of Ireland up, there's, you know, petunias coming up to fill out for them, and you don't want it to just be there, or I don't. I like to have something planted in it. So I don't know if these will make it, but if the weather stays nice like this, they will. But I trimmed off a piece of this little coleus and put it right here, and it'll catch up to the others eventually. If not, it'll certainly blend in and be very pretty if it lives, if it gets a good start in this cooler. So I was saying before I had to have a battery change that if it gets a good start in this cooler weather, it'll go right on through the hot weather. If it gets its root down in and gets going, it'll have a very good chance of being part of this little container garden's beauty. And I found a snail in this little pot, and my penta that was beautiful pink would have went very good with this. It's gone. It took it out before I realized what was going on. So I took it out, but I'm sure there's more. But anyway, I did put a little redhead coleus right here, and I think that's going to look great. And also this little pot that I was showing you earlier, I thought a little redhead coleus behind this. I was hoping that this dew plant, variegated dew plant, would fill out all the back side and go all the way down. And it may still before this season's over, but I still think it'll be pretty with this little redhead coleus in there. And especially just in case it doesn't just take off and go with the dew plant. And I am so loving this little red coleus right here. I would almost like to clip it and put a piece of it somewhere so I could have two of them, but it's just looking so good and I don't want to stunt it or cause it to not look as great as it does right now. So I think I'm going to leave that one alone. And I just put a little skirt of color around this one, and I think it already looks better. It just brings, the feather is very pretty, but this just brings it out a little bit more. You know, just like our accessories do when we put on an outfit. And I tried a couple more zinnias here in this pot. I know they may not make it, but there's a chance. So we'll see. If they don't, we'll just pull them out and throw them away. And if they do, we'll ooh and ah over them for a while. Please be sure to like and to subscribe to the channel and share us with your friends.